Hi, welcome to my video today. I wanted to share with you some tips and tricks about how I made my Make-A-Wish birthday card. I almost thought that I could subtitle this, Things You Can Do with a Metal Rod. And you'll see why in just a minute. First, I want to show you that this card was made with the Sunshine and Smiles Designer Paper Kit, except for this pattern, which came from the prints, the Designer Paper Prints stack. But this paper has some beautiful motifs with it. It has whales, big ones, small ones, whales with umbrellas, whales with clouds, waves, umbrellas for the shower idea, and flowers. And then it's double-sided paper, and on the other side you can see it has some just beautiful bold colors, fresh and springy, and some smaller patterns that will work very well in layering and choosing accents to add elements to your scrapbook pages or your projects. This paper is my favorite because you know I love brights. So I wanted to show you how I used the paper to create this candle that's on the card. And if you'll bear with me, maybe these techniques aren't so new to you, but I'm just learning to make videos, and so I decided to just start doing with what I was making. And if you'll see, my hands are like dyed pink today. I was making some decorations for a bridal luncheon for our daughter who's getting married next week, believe it or not. Okay, to start with the candle, you need a piece that's about 2 inches, and I think this is about 3.5 inches across. And you'll see that at the end I put a piece of sticky strip. Before you tear off that sticky strip, you want to start winding your paper around a skewer, a metal stick, anything, a pencil, just to start to get it to roll on its own. And you don't really want to keep it rolled. You just want to get it used to rolling around, especially that beginning part is the hardest. And you'll notice that I placed the strip on the wrong side because this is the side I want to show to the outside. So basically, after I have begun to loosen up the paper, I'm going to wind it up, and I'm going to try to make it as tightly and as evenly as I can as I'm going around that metal stick. A bamboo skewer works well. Depends how tight or how small you want your paper straw to be. This is actually a little thicker than a straw because it's pretty solid. And then when you get to the end, you would just peel the strip off. Don't do it before now, but that will then adhere your candle together and you can slide it off. And when you're finished, it should look like this. Now, I did have an end that was had some uneven edges, and that's why I've made it 2 inches so that you actually can take your craft and rubber scissors and snip that off to make it a little more evenly. And then all I did to adhere it to the card was to put a piece of sticky strip this way and adhere it on the card where I wanted it. And you can see that I've added a flame. That's Daffodil Delight paper. Typically what I do is use some punch that has a rounded edge. You can either freehand your flame. I used probably this. I love to use this for leaves and anything else that starts with a rounded edge. And I probably punched this and then made it a little smaller, and I did sponge to add detail to the edges of that. So that's the first trick, is how to make the rolled candle for this card. And the second one that will also use our metal rod is to take the ribbon and spritz it with water. And I will tell you something I usually do. If I don't have water, sometimes I'll use my Stampin' Mist because it happens to be there. Works just fine. It really does work just fine. And you're going to do one side at a time with this. And all you do is start to wind this again. Same idea, same technique, except I'm going to wind it around and I'm going to move down the metal piece this way until I get so I get really like a single layer of the ribbon on here. I don't want it to double over. That might make it too hard. And I'm going to go about halfway, and then you'll hear some noise. I'm going to heat my heat gun while I'm holding the ends, and I'm going to just heat that metal. It works like a curling iron. It gets hot, and then that curls your ribbon for you. And then when you just slide it off, you'll see the ribbon curls. This is so much fun to add. I curled obviously one side and then the other side, and all I did was then kind of wrap it behind my button, which was tied with string. So those are just some ideas for you, fun things I've learned, and if you haven't learned them, then you've learned something new, and if you have, then maybe it's a reminder for you to use them again. Thanks so much for joining me today. This is Cindy Beach, Stamps, Paper, and Ink. I hope you'll be back for more videos and more work on my blog. Thanks for visiting. Bye.